As the old saying goes, you can't really know where you're going until you know where you've been. Williamson County, Texas is no exception. 2023 marks the 175th anniversary of Williamson County's founding. But as we continue plowing towards the future, it's important to remember our past. Williamson County has come a long way since its early beginnings. While archaeological findings show human habitation dating back thousands of years, the Williamson County we know today largely began with the first permanent settlement at Kenny's Fort on the banks of Brushy Creek in 1839, now present-day Round Rock. By 1848, there were roughly 250 settlers in what was then western Milam County. That year, 107 of those settlers signed a petition to organize a new county. Recognizing that the petitioners needed a seat of local government much closer to them than Milam counties, the Texas legislature established Williamson County on March 13, 1848, naming it after Robert McAlpine Williamson, a prominent lawyer, judge, Texas Ranger, and veteran of the Battle of San Jacinto. Williamson County was officially born. For much of the 19th century and early 20th century, Williamson County was primarily an agrarian community. The rich blackland soils in the eastern half of the county proved ideal for growing wheat, corn, and most notably, cotton. Williamson County became one of the top producers of cotton in Texas during this era. The expansion of the International Great Northern Railroad, which was built across the eastern part of the county in 1876, followed by the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad in the 1880s, led to the founding of both Taylor and Hutto, towns that would become the center of cotton production in the county. It was also during the post-Civil War era that Jesse Chisholm laid out his famous cattle route, the Chisholm Trail. In 1867, the first cattle drive to originate from Williamson County occurred, when 35,000 cattle were driven north to market in Kansas. Over the years, many cattle drives either passed through or originated in Williamson County. Many citizens, especially children, would often gather to watch the herds cross Brushy Creek at the famous Round Rock, which marked a safe, low-water crossing for cattle and wagons. By the 1880s, the invention of barbed wire began to close the open prairies, bringing an end to trail drives. But with the railroads that had come to Williamson County, Taylor became an important rail center for the cattle trade, allowing ranchers to ship cattle by train to markets in the north. The growth in business led to a growth in population. By 1930, Williamson County had a diverse population of over 44,000 people, along with almost 12,000 automobiles. Extensive improvements of all major roads, including blacktopping, took place that year. The economy was still vastly agricultural, but the Great Depression had encouraged diversification among farmers. Cotton remained important, but wheat and sorghum production grew, and in addition to traditional sheep and cattle livestock, the county saw a significant rise in poultry farming. But it wasn't until the 70s and 80s that the population and economic diversity would really boom. Between 1970 and 1980, Williamson County's population would more than double, jumping from roughly 37,000 to over 76,000. Much of the growth in population was related to the development of new housing communities in the area of the county bordering Austin. By 1980, almost 60% of the county lived in urban areas. There was a sharp rise in the amount of factory workers compared to previous decades, and major areas of employment included construction, agribusiness, trade, services, and local government. Urbanization would continue to transform Williamson County during the 90s and early 2000s, bridging us to the Williamson County we know today. Agriculture remains important, with cotton and cattle ranching alive and well in certain areas of the county. But much of the recent growth can be attributed to tech-based businesses, healthcare, retail, and manufacturing. Companies like Dell Technologies, Apple, Ascension, Samsung, and many more now have roots in Williamson County. Today, nearly 700,000 people call Williamson County home, and it should come as no surprise why people keep moving in. Williamson County has so much to offer, from safe communities to great schools, to economic opportunity, to abundant health care, to great public services, to beautiful parks and nature, and so much more. Over the past 175 years, Williamson County has managed to evolve from a sparsely populated farming and ranching settlement into a bustling center of modern business, all while being able to maintain the charm and feel of a small-town community. As we honor our past and look to the future, one thing is clear when it comes to Williamson County. We're still making history.